Hello, 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 and welcome to Three Amigos Ink and Splatter. I am your host, Marie Moldovan, with my co-host, Alicia Hodge. And this evening, we're actually going to feature a absolutely amazing poet by the name of Stuart Irving Marshall. Stuart is a compulsive Madden and Minecraft game master and connoisseur of all things cheesy, crunchy, tasty, and also happens to be a pretty good poet and writer. Of course he is. He was raised in Brooklyn, grew up to the great height of 5'6" while living in Virginia, and began writing suddenly out of the blue at the ripe age of 40. Thank God, because he was literally bored. And yes, absolutely thank God, because if you have never taken a look at Stuart's work, you should. He is absolutely amazing. So, Stuart, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. Been writing a lot and feeling good about it, and wanted to keep going because I'm doing a lot of things. I'm I'm doing a whole lot of things, and I've been trying to. I'm working on another project right now too. So between that and writing poetry, posting, and all of that, it's been busy, which I love. I love being busy, especially writing poetry.
Well, that's great because I absolutely love your work. I am honored that you bless our group with your poetry, and I think everything that you write is delightful. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Your background. I know that you did tell me that you were a DJ and other things. So.
Yes, I was born in New York, and I grew up in Virginia. So it's my mother's family's from Virginia. So we moved there when I turned 11, and I grew up in Virginia, where all that stuff was going on now. It's like, wow, all that stuff with the midterm elections now, with all that stuff going on. So it's interesting down there right now. But yeah, I grew up in Richmond. I graduated from high school in Richmond, and then I had a very short stint in the Air Force, and very short, like a month. And I got out medically, and it took me almost half my life to find out that I qualified for medical. So now I don't have to worry about anything medical anymore. I could just go to the VA and just get stuff done, like I just did several times in the last 3 years. So other than that, I worked in the medical field. I worked in several, mostly in the medical field, and I didn't start writing poetry till I was about 40. And I wrote while I was in high school, but nothing really serious. But I didn't start writing serious poem until I was 40, and I've been writing ever since. And it's taking me about 20 years to get good. Well, it took me 15 years to get good, because in 14 I got a book published. So a book of poetry published. My first book, my first book of poetry ever, my first book ever. So I'm happy about that, and I'm working on the second one whenever I can find a site that I can submit my poetry to. So
So what kind of site are you looking for to submit your poetry to again?
uh, a small print poem like the one I submitted to get my book published is called Inner Child Press. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the,
Yeah.
the that's the one that did my book. So I may go back to them, or I might try to find some other um, site because that
Well,
has,
I actually have a couple of avenues for you that you might be interested in after this podcast that I could probably help you. You know, if you get a manuscript together, there's a couple of different options that are out there for you that I can probably direct you to. Um, and I'm and we're going to be working on that the graphic novels together, so I'm pretty excited about that. That's really awesome.
yeah.
But you were talking about when poetry got good. I mean, what in your opinion is good poetry? I mean,
Oh, oh boy. My first poem I ever wrote was about Tiger Woods, and that was in '97, and that was when he first became a professional golfer. And I wrote about his first tournament, which was the Masters, and it was okay. It wasn't really great. It was just something I just wrote, because of the whole the whole the whole what can I say, his his um his quick rise to fame, I guess. And it's the first real poem I wrote, and it was okay. But then after that, I just got the bug, and I just started writing till I was writing 10 poems a day, which was like really frightening for me because I didn't know where it was coming from. And I just know it when I know it, right? It's like when you get inspired and just start writing, then it's something that's worth writing. If you're just forcing yourself to write, like, oh, I have to write, I haven't written anything in months, blah blah, and I got to write something. It never really it never really turns out the way you want. You have to really want to write. You have to really be inspired to write. I've been inspired to write several poems from just events. Let's see. The first Tiger Woods Masters, 97, 9/11. What else? 9/11. I wrote 3 poems on 9/11. One when I was on the bus going to work that morning. Um, when my father died. Uh, what else? When Obama was elected. Things like major events like that. I usually get inspired to write poetry about. Oh, when Timothy McVeigh was executed that morning, that was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me because I had never written anything that. It wasn't really. What can I say? It wasn't really an angry poem, and it wasn't really a. I don't know. It was a sad poem. It was called. Oh man, I forgot what it was called. I'll find out. But it was a very sad poem. Once I read it, because I never really know what I'm writing until after I finish writing. Because when it comes, it just comes, and it comes uh, in totality. It just comes, and when I'm finished writing, it's done. I don't have to go back and rewrite. I don't have to go back and anything. It's just done the way it is, um, and it usually turns out pretty good. The ones I have to force is just crummy. It's just crummy. It's like, what the heck? No, 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 no. So I mean, it may take me weeks. It may take me days. If I really want to write something, I will listen to music. I will turn on the news. I will take a walk. I will. I don't know. If I really want to get myself inspired to write something, you know. But I don't force it. If it's not there, it's not there. I'm not going to force something because I haven't written in months or weeks. I'm just not going to do that because my time is my time, and I'm not going to spend it waiting around for something that is not going to come. So that's the way I see my poetry. And I know it's good I know it's good when I I know it's good when it happens. Um, and That's especially the star mess. The that was I don't know what kind of mood I was in. Really, I was when you wrote those prompts down. It's like, why is she giving so many prompts? It's amazing. It's crazy. And then all of a sudden, I started thinking, wait a minute, I can do something else with this instead of poetry. I mean, it's just. And so it just jumped in my head. Why don't I just write something uh, dialogue-ish, or I don't know, something short, dialogue-ish, something narrative or something. And then that just jumped in my head because you know what? Why it came to me? I was watching Star Trek stuff on the internet. Not Deep Space Nine. I was reading about watching the Next Generation. That's how I got the title. And it's like, oh, that's what I'll do. I'll do a takeoff from Star Trek. So, and that's how it all came to me. So, basically, I that's how it usually. When I write things, I usually get inspired just by accident, basically. By accident, usually.
I think that's pretty much how it is. I mean, myself, I've been writing some really crappy poetry lately because I am not inspired at all. It's just, well, actually, that's kind of a lie. I have a few poems that I'm quite inspired to write, but I've had to hide them from the public because they're they could cause a little bit of trigger issues and stuff like that with various people. But yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm like that too. I write when I'm inspired, and when I have to force it, it's total crap. I mean, some people look at it and they're like, "Oh, that's good," and I'm like, "No, it's crap. It really is." But
I know when people are being honest with me because if I can see it's crap, and I've been writing for what 25 years, it's crap. I mean, I know they're not giving me their honest opinion because it's crap. It's crap to me. If it's crap to me, it's crap. So,
right? I know, right? I mean,
yeah,
I actually have a poet who come up to me. They've been following me for like 10 years or so. I guess I've published all over. I don't even know where the heck all my poetry is. I just like was submitting it like a Mad Hatter at one point in time, and it's all over the world. But there's this poetry that comes from outside it. I guess it was made of some publications in British Columbia, and they've been following me since then. And I was like, oh, they're like, oh yeah, I'm so happy to like finally come into they're now in the group and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. Can I get a copy of that? Because I lost that. I was like, I don't even remember writing that so many years ago. It's kind of amazing how that works.
yeah. I had one I did early in my writing career too. It's like something I wrote. Um, Something I wrote that I submitted somewhere, and they liked it so much they said I was a member of the I was so many I was a member of so many online groups. It was I couldn't keep up with it myself. Um, and somebody had sent me a message saying, "Hey, remember that poem you did, so and so, and whatever?" And I was like, "I love that poem so much. Do you know?" I said, "I have no clue which one you're talking about because I had written over 1,000 poems since more than 1,000 poems. I think I wrote 1,000 poems in a year once, and I think like 5% of them ever got submitted. Um, so I couldn't tell them which ones were which or whatever. Um, but the only ones I remember now, the ones since the book and just recently, I can remember a lot. But if it was something from 2000, forget it. I couldn't tell you really, because I was a member of a group, maybe 20 groups since the internet started. In when did the internet start?
It's been around for a while. I mean,
In the mid '90s, maybe, I don't know. And it was, I think it had started out already, but I poetry groups had just started popping up everywhere, and so I just said, "Oh, why not?" I just every other day I'd join another group, and it's like I was up to 20, and then I started. I couldn't keep up with it, so now I'm only a member of what, 3 poetry groups now. You uh, and the I don't know if that Truth one is a poetry group. I don't know. That's something totally different. Or but basically, I'm only a member of one group, one poetry group, and that's y'all. So
yeah,
um,
because the golden truth is me too.
well, I mean, it's not a strictly poetry group. It's
Or
like
it's
it's
just a whole
everything.
lot of everything.
Exactly. So I guess I consider that a poetry group too, pseudo poetry group. So maybe two. When I mean, that's down from like 25 or 30 over the years. So I like it better because I don't have to strain my brain to figure out, okay, where did I submit that one to? I just know I only submitted to one group or two. That's it. So yeah, I uh, I just love, and um, to go along with that, all my other biographical information. I had written 2 actual screenplays, not episodic episodic shows or whatever. I've actually written a few screenplays which I've never submitted anywhere, but I've written 3, and actually I did submit one somewhere, but to an actual uh, person who worked at a what do you call it? God, in California, it was Sherman Oaks. It was a place in Sherman Oaks, California. And I submitted it to, and that was in like what, 94, 2004, uh, and I never heard back anything. And I'm glad I didn't send my original, but I still have that. But all that to say is I've been writing poetry more than I've been writing screenplays, except for the 5 episodes I wrote so far from what I've been writing. So, but I yeah. Okay.
I really, really enjoy I really, really enjoy everything that you write, and I might want to take a look at those screenplays sometime. But maybe we should just move on to letting you entertain the audience with your absolutely amazing pieces. So I'll just toss the floor over to you.
Something current that I wrote recently, that people just like. I've noticed they like that one. It's called Time for I hope I have it all here. Okay. This is a time for poets, a time for poetry, as it was in the beginning while Rome burned and Caesar fiddled, when a man came forth to show the world how it was done, walking water, water to wine, crazy, sane, bloodless, deathless, eternal, while Genghis Khan and Hannibal lectured, at the time when the Crusades was all the rage, when Gutenberg was able to turn the page, when we saw stars by candlelight during the day and darkest night, while Newton tried out his calculus and gravity, and Galileo and Johnson allowed us to see what we could see. When Chairman Mao, Stalin, Lenin did what they did, I'm glad we didn't allow Hitler, Mussolini, and Edel to get away with it. It took Einstein and a bomb, the first anyone dared. Physics, a brilliant mind, and E equals MC squared. Shakespeare wasn't the only one who wrote down rhyme. It's been all of us using our own way, in our own time. The angst and wonder and frustration of existence, tyranny, slavery, agony, crime, punishment, resistance. The rhyme, the off rhyme, the slight and tight rhyme. Through rain, sleet, tornado, tropical storm, corruptive slime. Through the plague, smallpox, polio, the invention of the gun, assassinations, degradations, the platforms politicians run. A time to fight, a time to write, iambic pentameter or free. There's never been a time that didn't warrant poetry. From my book, Youth Struggle Wisdom, The Journey to Epsilon. Are you mellow? To be a marshmallow is to suffer endlessly, dull headaches, wondering if you'd be roasted or toasted on a stick or melted over a casserole of vanilla wafers and bananas. It just makes one go positively ape. The pressure of the blinding whiteness, the brightness of being, seeing with no eyes, unable to speak coherently, fluently, in English or any other language. Just the sheer lack of size would put one's self-esteem into question, not to mention being eaten by small children and old people without teeth. I'd much rather be a bouquet of orange flowers. I am that I am. You see me, but you choose to blind yourself to my reality, my sincerity. You choose to choose vulgarity, insanity to communicate insanity, to clarify, to clarity that's beyond your reason to exist. So you resist and insist my too good to be true, my hidden agenda, my fleeting flexibility as bipolarity, and cease to listen. Realize the prize before your eyes, enlightenment, divine excitement to cherish, but instead you perish in your own notion of discrimination, your border state of wait and see, and manipulate and hate, disguised as good faith and faith. But it's too late for the deed is done. One day away from and in chains and striped and stripped with naked procrastiny, hoping the mind will forget the predestined destiny, already frozen, the beginning of time, chosen. He knows and will never change. That will, that, he knows and will never change what will be fulfilled. You know me, but you choose to throw me to the wolves of mediocrity, banality, and empty, mindless insecurity, hoping that I will succumb, transmutate into a bum, slum, as one unwilling to try, escape to the empty valleys and dumpsters and dugsters, emptying their wares to empty red-eyed stares, for green they've seen but never seen. Green grass in the heathen's garden, a lower grade trade for paper worth nothing but tragedy and holes and arms and souls, and sold to the highest bidder, bitter and empty, fiery death and death repeated death. You doubt me, for you doubt yourselves. The misery loving company, going bankrupt, going under, downsizing, burger and fries in an attempt to stave off starvation, only to bring on arterial frustration and clogging and the sudden stoppage of the blood and the beat and the IV tubes that stretch for miles, and the grave, awaiting the laid remains of what's left, doubting no more, till the doubt be done with the next page turn in the bright, bright light of what could be but isn't and will never be. I am that I am. Tell them that I am has sent me to be who I am and whom you choose me to be. The unreasonable night. I hear the sirens as they come in search of me. I hear your voice, your silence, coldly as it enters me. I sit, lie among the discarded, wrinkled butts once encircled by discarded, wrinkled lips, diseased with the nothing left said, quieted by my own putrid surface stench, crying out its attempt to reason with the unreasonable night, transformed from day to now, another day as night, wondering if what I now live will rise again to greet me in the night of dawn. Fried crispy insanity. We freeze to keep the heat at bay, hoping the flame will go away, not singe the tiny hairs on our arms and legs, not burn the skin, the flesh, damage muscle, char the bone beneath. We risk the bite of frost, praying that the second, third degree conflagration won't cause as much pain and anguish. Yet we continue to attempt to extinguish the language that speaks in charcoal brutality and fried crispy insanity. But some of us enjoy the heat, for it seems to balance what we perceive to be stiffness of joint. a chosen, frozen state of unrelenting, unending reality of all awareness, a brain lock, eye clock of the eventuality, ending in the pool of unthinkable, undrinkable swill. It matters not that our very breath depends on the very air that surrounds. Matters not that the life within them ceases existence and cannot resist the onslaught of vulnerability beyond the will to heal, to feel anything but lead, anything but dead, the slow and painful demise, ignored in the mirrors of time. They see and do as monkeys, ooking their mimicry before the false deity of indecisive truth, praying that just a puff away will save the dark endless day, the darkness giving way to the even darker improbable darkness that takes them to their image and empty visions of peace. Still me forever. Still me forever. Rid me of this wretched life, for I long no more for this poisoned kiss, this dead waste, this taste of bitterness disguised of love. Still me forever. Rid me with this peace of death, for I no longer long for more of this wasted wealth, this secret stealth of insecurity. I smell the smoke, yet cannot feel the flame, for I am used to the burn of unconcern. I feel the need for a different speed from the drug of the master's choice. I hear the anger in their voice and deny its sound, for I am bound and cannot turn away. For what is after me is before me, and what is before me is darkness forever. So pray not for the lost, for we all walk in darkness without the proper light. And this is why we die. And this is why we die. We believe what they say like truth, lie on the tracks our hands tied, pierced and bloodied through and through, crucified like kings, blindfolded, not by them, but ourselves, resigned to our fates, no hope, but with fantasy blinking away tears, resigned to lives of promised but given to none, but fun and game and days of game to waste our lives away. Addictions as frictions to our scrawny bones, smoke-filled lungs and numbing tongues, all hope lost on an island tossed with no escape but to pray for the paradise we threw away, for fashion and holiday, for death and dying disease, decay. And this is why we cry. Tears before and now, staining lives meant for God's great plan of paradise, filled instead with lie and lie, unable to tell sweet smell from brimstone of hell. The truth, a mirror glitch, a bitch to be harassed, beaten, treated like threat, poison and debt, sweat pouring from the pores of brow, our freedom illusion, a mirage in the sand of coke and a smile, and all the while injustice. That same bittersweet song that goes on, drowning love and righteousness away, returning not again to brighten our day. And this is why we sigh, grieved to the core, our store of hope depleted, becoming defeated, beat down to the ground, told to behave like we were never slaved with no voices, no choices. It has never changed, the shame has been accepted, changed in name to same, the same lamentation of frustration, the same endlessness of self-worthlessness, deep, dark, depressive selfishness, discarded bodies poisoned with greed and false tranquility. The hostility builds, exploding with the pressure of future limited existences. Resistance is futile, and all the while we see ourselves and each other ceasing to exist. Slowly, numbingly, painfully, minds twisted, souls imprisoned, tortured. And this is why we lie. Pray to their false gods, greed and war and greed, for nothing that lasts, but love feeding us food of death, feeding us force feeding waste, lozenges to the skin, what's within to waste, whips and lips of gold, laws and gun, laws and fingers jointed and pointed, self-anointed by chem-filled fools, foolish enough to believe their strange and miraculous sleight of hand, a masked audience at a monster's ball, dancing, applauding, watching ourselves disappear at the magician's call and realize too late, then shout and scream to say, then pray and pray, not going away. And this is why we lie. To ourselves daily, perjure ourselves to ourselves, knowing but uncaring. For the fear is a rope that hangs us all, a rope that is no rope at all, but a choice we made on layaway, still paying for from long ago. A debt we still embrace, the debt instead of love. Forgive, forget, throw away the grass not green and lean to understanding not our own. A faith that kills the pills of ill, the empty thrills. But still we think of nothing more than having more and getting more, working more and nothing more, spending more that's worth nothing more, killing more. And this is why we die. I am homeless. I am homeless, but from October to this very day, I make my way with what is left of my wits, with egg and grits, often the only food in. I have a card, but it's hard finding a place on Sunday, close, without a long walk in dress shoes, brown, I think. So downtown I stay among the skyscrapers, hidden rapers, rappers, dark mappers of lost, vulnerable souls. It's gotten warm, so I say to myself mostly, all my worldliness gone on a day too far away, past to rightly say for sure. A blur is what was and is. I am homeless, but I don't feel what I haven't felt before. No, I've not slept on the floor, but have felt the hardness of my back nonetheless, wishing it was, wishing it could have been the wood of trees laid flat, cut and painted, unlike my life, tainted with the stain of doubt, indecision and all. The constant fall, rise to beginnings, to ends, to other falls and cold winters, calls within invisible doors, splinters from non-existent floors. I'm finally homeless. I'm finally there, free from the boundaries, the inner world of loneliness, doubt. I'm out and about, my bag within a bag of my everything, nothing unless, knowing how it feels, feeling that crawl up your leg, not knowing where it's been, where it's going, or even its name, if it has one. I'm finally homeless. No more fun or of drafty sills, spilled pills beneath the sheets of feets aflame with the scent which bears no name. Only the fine aroma of street residue, the pleasantly fragrant hue of the rotting stew, the city's filth and spew, the bird's unappealing appetite. I look away. I'm finally homeless. I walk the streets like lights in Reno, like flashing lights, Nikon, peeling like Velcro across my soul, raping my nostrils with the fill of funk, belly junk, just nasty stuff, fluff, no more, no candy, flowers at my door, just a sack within a sack, ready to break. Take me to another level of scream deep within my bowels, but not as deep as the bowel left in the street of the stench of high, getting me high, secondhand, taking me to Disneyland, where Mickey and Minnie greet me at my feet, wanting my last piece of cheese from my last piece of bread, my last piece. I dread depression. I can't believe I'm finally homeless. I can't believe I'm alone. Itching like never before. I itch like never before. My skin feels like I've been in dust and dirt and mud and filth and anger and hate and a desire for love and peace, which is falling, dropping in value like the dollar. People holler 'cause it's not like it used to be. How many times can one return to never and expect to find the used to be that isn't there, that never was, that was more or less the same, still less than before, still itching like never before, crawling over you like they always have. But the illusion was the confusion. The mirage led to an oasis of emptiness. A chat room, a slick groom, an aisle, a pile of steaming bills, an armful of chills, tears, flooding the streets like rivers, like lakes, like oceans, quakes like snakes, the very foundation, renovation, installation, conflagration, unstoppable flame, unstoppable shame, itching like never before. Like never again will we ever see gas that low, cause of greed, speculation, the minimum wage high again, because of greed, speculation, fear, the beer gone, the Yankees gone, Favre gone, back, and gone, itching like never before. The fears, the concession stands, higher prices, higher. The West is on fire, The Middle East is on fire, and Bush is a liar, and his pants are on fire. A man out of air, without a care, and itching like never before. To return to his stash, his flask, the final task to flood the plain with a bit of 90 proof. 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 We need proof. He never had to let them die and die and die and cry, not let them. Why the truth? The look from the kiddie chair as they were flying there like he knew, like he flew the crew, like he knew. The painful look that shook the soul, the souls rising, leaving this world, rid of the itching. Never before, never again, watching the burning bush, burning the scabs, healing, itching like never before. The look, how long did he practice it before it became as real as his empty heart, knowing, not sharing, not caring, content to itch like always, like before and always, spreading his disease like a disease, like a plague, like an incurable itch, hoping it keeps him warm at night, out of sight, out of mindless, heartless, fearing itch. My skin feels like it needs to scratch a life clean to the bone, start over, move over and over till the spot's done itching. As steel honed to a sharpness cut. Unravel that which has been hidden, shown. Dispel the doubts, both far and wide and near, but a flicker of lash to a burning cauldron, to cinder, to ash, to vapor, to breathe into the night, to hack and slash both lung and sword, bored not to action, silver's gleam, alone, but for his mighty team, warriors all. The call from lips, from to gauntlet, to arm, to fingertips, as steel honed to a sharpness cut, chain and mail for peck and gut, right on until the dawn appears, thrust forward, shield to shade the sun, fight forward, then, and all is done, march homeward bound to arms both wide and love revealed, hidden inside, a victory of heart, the true love's call. Do not wonder and weep, for the dimness of greatness of men and voice, for it has happened not just in our lifetime, but because of our lifetimes, not just now and here, but an eternity ago, in a heavenly world beyond our understanding. A great heavenly light of beauty and voice was lost, cast upon us by pride. By pride he was lost, by a terrible voice heard in the darkness as we heard his one shining day. A beauty beyond angelic beauty, an existence beyond the wishes of heart, torn apart by voice in the darkness of light. Pride, an evil beast, not of heaven, but of a hell not of hell, that turned Lucifer into Satan, before the hate and death and plains of air, before the weapons of ill and mighty pill, and the mighty thrill of fame and empty fortune. Before such, there was the beast of pride, waiting for the angel to deliver its evil way, waiting to destroy what God has chosen to lead his winged and wondrous throng, not leading pride's evil way of wrong by God's righteous word and hand. Pride, it's a beast that discriminates not, nor is he merciful. He will take an angel and God's chosen. He is unworthy to be called God's creation, for it has corrupted both angel and man, and only worthy to be called primeval, as it was from the time of the beginning of all, will continue to be until his words written be fulfilled. We must remember that it wasn't a chosen angel of God, but a beast who is worse than what Lucifer became. Steer clear of the true beast of evil who snares angels and humans alike. Pride. See me, see me for who I am. I am distraction, I am chaos, I am your worst fears, I am emptiness, the knock at your door in the middle of the night. I am the broken frame. Can you see me now? I am the smoky air. I am the deep darkness that creeps in your sleep. I am the bits and pieces that flow. What you breathe, keep as a souvenir. I am the future fear unrealized, the last scream heard, the dark bird at your windowsill. I am the spill of life, constant and unchanging, the cell in your body rearranging. I am the same sung song without a pause. I am the effect that's met its cause. Precious once, but now because lying in state for all to see. Not you, but me, for all to see, weeping, for there is nothing else. But to begin again is something else, the same. I am. I am Judah. I am Jerusalem. I am the northern kingdom. I stand at the southern border, wishing to be free, but cannot at once. I am bound, free in my bondage, asleep in a wakened state of mind. I see the waters open. I witness the dry land appear, but in their fear they are taken under, drown. Their lungs filled to bursting, their hearts collapse in the greed of their way. I am Jerusalem, I am Judah, true. The signs are shown truly before their eyes, blinded by a much different light, burning, casting their path down a winding, crooked road. I am the Hebrew slave among the slaves of this futile age. The page turns and is blown back at once. Again the same. The lame stumble, the blind cannot see. The manna falls, yet they still cry, wanting more, unsatisfied. Cannot see the spirit from the trees of their empty needs. Drive in endless cruise control. One hand on the wheel, one hand on redial. A need to travel to a place removed from one who will truly hear, yet fear is their choice. Criticism their defense. Numbing lies heard to hypnotize. till all seems not and lost. Think about it, Descartes. I think, therefore I am a poet. I think in rhythm and blues, therefore I pen with smooth, even lines, highlighting the blues and crossing out dissonance, noise, chaotic dissonance. I think in rock and roll, therefore I lunge, bypassing the grit and grime of grunge and rusted metal, settle for nothing less than the easy listening of classical script dripping within soul. I think in country, therefore I fiddle with words till I hear the sound of wood, knife, and whittle. Cakes on the griddle lining up line by line. Words so fine they got their own chorus line, kicking in the air with rhyme and flair. I think in rap, therefore I rap, with my CKs and my backwards wearing baseball cap, slapping the words upside the head, whapping the concussion function, rage upon the page like it be nothing but something more. I think, therefore I'm a poet, and as I hum to the song of my soul, the page boldly folds in on itself to keep from crying to my seriously syncopated rhyme. Folate. Feast your eyes on a common misconception concerning survival, concerning fate, related to manifest destiny. The tree, the other tree, the fig leaf, the other fig leaf, the larger fig leaf, the jealous, bloodthirsty, crispy moment, a mark that must have hurt and still hurts. The band and the antiques, the freaks unseen but there. No, there. No, over there. You're just too slow. You're just too late. Folate. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. The capital of Botswana. The cube root of 62. All I know is folate. Oh, you could certainly guess. Research, Google, spend frugal, any penny for your thoughts, racing, chasing dreams, asleep, awake, awake. Who woke me up? Asleep again, dreaming again. Don't wake me up again. Folate. I don't know how to get there. I don't know how much it costs. The weight of a gold bullion. The freezing point of absolute Kelvin. All I know is folate. Like it's so hard to figure out. All you need is 10 fingers, 10 toes, a couple of nipples, some pubic hairs, an earlobe, a license, 2 forms of ID, type E blood. E? That doesn't even. A fork with 3 prongs, an empty vacuum, and folate. I don't know how it got there. I don't know where it belongs. Why Argo? Why not Les Miserables? All I know is folate. About the time I figure it out and you sort it out, we'll be too old to figure it out or sort it out. We'll be on Social Security. What? No money left? Still on food stamps? What? No stamps? Folate. I don't know if it's good. I don't know how it smells. How fruit flies migrate or reproduce. Why not Lincoln? Why Jerry keeps Tony? All I know is folate. Trying to tell people like beating your head up against a stone wall. What? No straw? They're just stubborn and suicidal. What? No DNA fingerprints or dental records for identification? Just a tidal wave flowing to oblivious? to oblivion without folate. I don't know who created it. I don't know who'll destroy it. I don't know who'll change it. So why so many vocational schools with so little jobs? All I know is folate. Even a genius with a 10th grade education can figure it out. What? Can't add 2 plus 2? Put down that calculator. Grades are no longer permitted. No one learns or thinks or breathes without a cell phone to text or an iPad to figure out walking directions. What? No car? Watch out for that folate. I don't know when it ends. I don't know when it began. The book doesn't give precise dates or the depth of the largest moon crater. All I know is folate. And how the hell did I know that? Addiction. I want it. It wants me. The cravings are constant, universal in its gravity. The feeling stronger than any man ever born, any beast ever born, anything but love. He wants it. She wants it too. They don't know why. Don't have a clue. It's way beyond comprehension, miles beyond understanding, leagues from the true destination of love. They want it. They want it too. It rings a mutual bell, a psychic call for the uninitiated, a final call yet to be destined, reversing a direction from the more pleasant destination of love. I fight it. It fights me. Throws me up against the ropes, suplexes me, figure fours me until I hear my mind snap. Feel my life come apart, seam by seam. The volume keeps crawling upward, deafening me. My eyes are blinded by the visions of out of control lawlessness, forgetfulness of a time where the simple pleasures were enough and love was plenty. Now plenty is not nearly enough. Love replaced by wide hips and shallow hops. Dungeons entered and poisons ingested, digested and forced upon the soul against our will, with our consent, by accident, on purpose, for the evil purpose of greed. They keep us underwater in the fire of addiction, in the center of the flames of unending inevitability. I hear the curses of souls destined, see frustration in the revolving door of I care, could care less. I wish I could care. I wish I could love. I wish I could love myself. Confusion is like a net, ensnaring, cutting through the flesh of destiny, of I wish I knew. I wish I could. I wish I knew how. If only I paid attention then. If only I loved. I wanted it. Got something else. I needed it. Got something else instead. Now I'm addicted, and I couldn't care less. I don't like where this is heading. Life is short, and loneliness is too long, Lord. It's a plague that itches and burns. It's a revolving door going nowhere. Heartwarming, cooling, spilling what's left of the tortured soul, like tar and feathers, like drawn, quartered, and splattered dreams. I don't like where this is headed. I've got no brakes to stop before it crashes. Life's too sweet. and love too sour, Lord. Vaguely flowered scented, a magnet to draw likely, unlikely fire. I don't like where it's heading. It's feeding me lies, forcing me cries under duress intravenously, repeatedly drowning me airless, careless whispering, then lost. Life is too late and death too early, Lord. I can't afford to wait. My muscles are stretched too far, the scars are still visible, and breaking what solace remains constant, what peace still remains, sanity, vanity remains. I can't bear another heartbreak. I'm numb to the point of fleeting tinglings, minglings of past flashes of reality and normal dignity, calling me, calling, not speaking, not reaching a conclusion, but a conclusion unfitting for a happy ending. Don't. I dreamed about dying, just sitting there, staring into space, feeling numb, feeling tired, feeling drained and weak, feeling nothing. But then something, not a bright light, but a voice, not like James Earl Jones, John Wayne, or Richard Burton, but a voice that stopped the hurting for a while. A voice that seemed like every voice I'd ever heard, all at once. My mom, dad, sis, Walter Cronkite, Mr. Ed, Tiny Tim, Victor Newman, Carol Channing. Just one voice, no visions spanning my past, whirling past fast, or hands reaching out to pull me forward toward the other side. Just a voice. I couldn't tell where it was coming from at first. It sounded like once a burst from the left, then the right, above, then below, then right in front of me. I thought I could feel breath breathing, not a scent, but a sense of closeness, a whispering message just for me. I couldn't quite understand the voice, seemed like it was distancing, ebbing, then flowing back and forth. I leaned forward and I was met with an angel tongued don't. And as I moved away, I wondered what it meant. Don't what? Die? Give up? Both? Neither? I was getting a fever, weaker by the moment. It was closing in, so I had to ready myself, steady myself. Then, don't. I was too weak, unable to speak, form words, a storm clouding reasoning, judgment. The time approaching. I left all and everything behind, worth becoming, less limbs less likely to take another step. The try has failed and failed. Regret, shame, and has taken its place. The face of the future no longer in sight. Don't. I hear it again, and I don't know what I can do but listen and question. Don't what? I have nothing left. It's gone. They're gone. Dreams, the stuff thereof, blood, drained for flowing, go the soul of a practiced thought, laughter, too much for little and nothing, tears, drowning in, waiting about. I shout, but hear nothing, scream, and my ears give way to the dust of empty words. Listen and hear nothing, see through blurry eye, but they see nothing. I waved, called, cared, loved, lost at every turn, strained to reach, yet they turn away, time after time. I tire more, have nothing in store, nothing for the day of rain, nothing but thoughts of the end and rest, the end and endless, restful, peaceful sleep. Don't. It says once more, and then again until I wake to the noise, the choice again, the voice again. Voices? Choices? Crowds too loud, saying nothing worth spit, saying nothing worth the shit, stained on the BVDs of whites. No, not race again, not chase again, not hoses, noses broke, not limbs, necks choked. No more, no more, no more, no less forgotten, but in nightmares and scattered dreams, M&Ms and M&M, Auntie M, and there's no place like don't. Book of Love. Can you see me now? I'm here. Can you see me now? Existing in shadows no more. I feel not. I need not come to you in exotic views, fronts, fonts, blazing, shimmering from transporter, glimmering. My heart and soul are here for your visual detection and detailed inspection and attention for your every direction. Can you see me now? Constant energy at flow, willing and waiting for a lifetime connection. Can you hear me now? I am here. Can you hear me now? Have you got your ears tuned to the sound of my wind, blowing in its own special tune? Actuated and activated to your special time, moment by moment, pure sound at your command, whispered gently as much as you can stand. Can you feel me now? I am. Steer. Feel me now, emotion. An ocean of love, wave after wave after love, after time, chasing time. No disappointments, aftershocks that rumble and crumble to dust, and mind just constant and kissed and missed and blissed and blessed and constantly wished by your side. No reason to ever hide. Can you read me now? An open book with words, not words, but ways and means, existences and lifetimes to spend and speak and share what is deep and true and sunshine and moon and stars forever as they come and go and flow and show their love, and as we do ours, it's just ours. See me, hear me, feel me, read me now. Every word a gentle voice, every paragraph a smile, every page laughter and joy. Read me, read my book of love. We met somewhere. We met somewhere. A place I cannot still recall. In a moment in time, not long from here, but far enough that I know not when. When all was past, its time and youth, its prime and muscle-bound truth, when weakened knee had found its spot, and the heart searched a lot for the meaning of its way, that of happiness and all that's real. What is my reason, and who will answer my fated impatient call? What smile shall befail me? What lips shall take the place of the drink that numbs what's left of my lonely, troubled mind? And what shall I find? Will she be to me as I to her, beside and beside? Or will it be a fleeting blur, a mirage to falsely stir the youthful's dream again? Beside and beside, a pleasant hope never to be. No moon, no stars. No moon, no Mars. Just the time, ours to do what we please. Please ourselves. Free ourselves inside from the rain and the pain of the past, of the last grasp of pain, to a refrain of happiness present and sent us from above where the moon sits, beyond the clouds where Mars stands, ready to fight for our right to love and love and love forever. No moon, no Mars. It doesn't mean no stars, doesn't mean no blue skies to wake us after the rain. After the darkness, the light still shines, the moon still rises, realizes our will to survive. Our will to survive hand in hand, heart in heart, every breath breathed for the next, every word spoken for one another, and another word and another still more as the rain falls and falls as we lay and lie beside each other, watching the moon, watching Mars as they shine, as they stand and fight for our right to love, and to love. Candles and whispers. Quiet now. The dark has come upon us, and we must go. But first we must light, not one, but two, more if we must. Trust the silence to candle and whispers, for what's inside must stay in its place until we have escaped the light, candles and whispers. All that we own in prayers to one who guides our steps, helps us safe from the harm of harm, the darkness beyond, through what we not know. Be there, O precious light, so that we may put away that which is darkness in candles and whispers.
That's so far everything has been really beautiful, Stuart. I really appreciate all the poetry that you have read for us this evening. We're actually coming to a close with respect to our time, if we want to be able to feed this live later on this evening. So my apologies for interrupting and cutting you a little bit short. Like I said, I just want to say that your poetry is absolutely amazing, and I've really enjoyed everything this evening. And we want to thank you very much for popping in and being our featured poet this evening on Three Amigos Ink and Splatter. Hopefully we could get you on once more and hear some more of your delightful work.
Thank you. I hope I have some more to give you. Most of those poems were from my book. I read straight from my book, but most of the ones that I've written recently, um, I have to get them in some sort of order so I could um, be able to read them the next time I have the opportunity.
That sounds fantastic. Like I said earlier, I wouldn't mind you getting together a bunch of your poetry, maybe in a manuscript form. And if you can do that, I could definitely direct you to where and who would be probably interested in taking some of your work and putting it out there for publication. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, even just for the possibility of reading it again as a featured poet on here, or for us to assist you with getting some of that work published once again. I mean, I would definitely like to see another book of yours out there. So
Um, and I would like to possibly get your ideas for a second cover. Since you're such a great artist, I thought that you might be able to give me some ideas for second cover for my second book, because my first book has me on the cover, and um, not that I wouldn't like ever give me a lot of exposure, but a different cover art for my second book, and that's I would appreciate any assistance you could give me along those lines. That would be great.
absolutely, Stuart. I would absolutely be honored to do that. And if I cannot produce something for you, I definitely know a lot of people who could probably help you out in that department. Um, but like I said, I would absolutely be honored to do that for you.
Thank you very much. And I will be um, posting per usual on the site, and whenever my inspiration has its way with me. um, and,
Fantastic. And like I think I said it earlier to you, I am currently working on your your wonderful little screenplays, those little mini pieces, and I did put together one with some artwork, but I really didn't like it. I'm kind of picky, so I scrapped that idea, and I'm going to start again. And then once I get something I think that you would like, I will be shooting that your direction, and hopefully we can go from there. And once again, thank you very much. You have yourself a wonderful night, and love you very much.
bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.